Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. If this is your first time joining me, welcome aboard. Kick up your feet, relax. We are certainly not practicing rocket surgery around here by any stretch of the imagination. We're just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And tonight, we will be taking a first look and paging through the Symbaroum Game Master's Guide from Free League Publishing. Yes, Symbaroum Week carries on. In fact, I will have 3 more PDF copies of the Symbaroum starter set, Travel Hunts in Devakar, for us tonight as well. So if you were watching yesterday and you did not win, then you're going to have another shot at it tonight. In fact, you'll have another shot on tomorrow's show as well. So, and I will talk about that a little bit later. So if you are a longtime viewer, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining me once again, taking some time out of your busy lives to watch this knucklehead just carry on and on and on and on and on. Tonight is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. This is live stream number 639. Rapidly approaching 650. Yes. Do want to mention, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. If you do, ding that bell, because not only will it let you know when I stream the Dispatch live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as today's preview of the Affinity 5e Kickstarter from Ex Machina. Or Machina, however you want to pronounce it. Let's go with Machina today. Let's say Deus Ex Machina. That's what we'll do. All right. So, also want to mention, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, chime in. Chat's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So fire away if you'd like. So let's see. First out the gate tonight was the Madman. We've got Clint Gibson. John Vogel is here. Quest Friend is a new addition to chat. I believe this is the first time we have seen Quest Friend join us. So welcome aboard. Join our quest, friend. Anyway, lots going on today. We will kind of chat about, I started watching The Irregulars last night. So I watched the first episode. I got some things to say about that, but I think we'll do that after the news. I will kind of pontificate about that for a few moments. So I got to be honest, I don't think I'm going to watch more than the first episode. That's just how it goes. All right. And of course, remember, tonight, opportunities to win 3 more copies of the starter set in PDF. You got to be watching live. You have got to be watching live. So, for those of you, this might be your first time viewing. I always do some tabletop gaming news first, and then we will move into the unboxing or page through or first look, what have you. So let's jump on into the news. So Clint says, I started watching it last night too. Talking about the irregulars. I'll see if Clint and I are of the same mind on some things. All right. So let's jump on into the news, because arriving in June from Inside Up Games is City Builder Ancient World. Here's what I know. City Builder Ancient World is a tile-laying game for 1 to 4 players, which can be played competitively, cooperatively, or solo. Players are magistrates sent to a newly conquered province to build cities and help spread Roman influence in the area. By employing clever planning, they must grow their cities to meet the demands of incoming settlers, as well as building imposing monuments to please their emperor. The competitive objective: to win, players must build impressive monuments and fill their city with incoming settlers. Monuments have unique scoring bonuses that will only apply to the city they are built in, while claiming settlers unlocks the point value they're covering. At the end of the game, players will add up their scores, and the player with the most victory points is declared, you guessed it, the winner. This player is awarded governorship of the province, with their city being named its new capital. I think previously I said Providence. It is a province. The cooperative objective is the emperor wants to increase the efficiency and profit of each of his provinces. As a group of magistrates, you must work together to ensure your province doesn't displease him, which would result with you losing your position and possibly your head. I guess must be Emperor Caligula, who's the emperor of Rome. Follow the emperor's edict, complete his preferred monuments, and plan carefully to make sure you all stay off the chopping block. City Builder Ancient World is for 1 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays in 30 to 60 minutes, and will carry an MSRP of $49 when it arrives in June. Sweet. I am a sucker for tile laying games. It's just a mechanic that I like. It is a mechanic that I like. Now, don't get me wrong. I have played some tile laying games that sucked. So there is that. But usually, tile laying game kind of piques my interest. So I did find that this looked kind of interesting. I got to be honest, I have never played any of the titles from Inside Up Games, and I believe they've got a few. I think there's like 5 or 6 I may have noticed on the website. So kind of cool, kind of interesting. Could be entertaining. Plus, it's ancient Rome. Come on. John Vogel, he's already sitting there going, hey, I don't play these kind of games, but ancient Rome. All right, moving right along. Hitting stores in May from Capstone Games is Coffee Traders. Here's the skinny, or I guess maybe we'd say here's the brew. 1970. It's the dawn of a new era. The future of coffee farming is bright. Empowered with new fair trade standards, small-scale coffee farmers from regions around the world have access to new markets. Thousands of coffee farmers all over the world support their families by using small stretches of hillside land for their coffee plantations. Farmers work day in and day out for very little, but the future of coffee farming looks bright. Fair trade organizations strive to improve living conditions for these farmers by helping them set up cooperatives. This enables them to establish better pricing agreements and take out loans for new plantations, all to help provide education and improve the quality of their lives, families, societies, and environment. In Coffee Traders, set in 1970s Central and South America, Africa, and Asia, the delicious Arabica coffee beans farmers harvest are sold in Antwerp and all over the world to coffee roasters large and small. Work with your competitors to develop the regions you see fit for the best coffee beans while keeping a watchful eye on the market. Construct buildings to help your fair trade coffee plantations thrive while enhancing your network for trading coffee? Will your plantations fall to ruin, or will you rise to the top like the cream on coffee? Oh, look, there's a ladybug flying around. First one I've seen so far tonight. Yes, we know the Duct Tape Studios is like a breeding ground for ladybugs. Anyway, it's funny. It was just, you may have even seen it flash across, even though I'm in the little picture, because it was like right in front of my face there. Will your plantations fall to ruin, or will you rise to the top and become the world's greatest coffee trader? Coffee Traders is for 3 to 5 players, ages 12 and up. Plays in 2 hours to 2.5 hours. It's going to carry an MSRP of $99.95 when it arrives in May. And Disavowed92 has joined us in chat, pointing out that this game looks interesting. I agree. This looks to me like, now I'll be the first point out, I have only played one Capstone game title, but really enjoyed it. That was Crystal Palace. And this looks very unique, very different. I like the fact that, we're talking about South America, 1970s, and you're not like growing coca, right? You're not growing heroin in Afghanistan or anything like that. So I thought this looked pretty cool, pretty interesting. It looks like there's a lot to it. And I do agree. You're probably sitting out there thinking, wow, $99.95? That's a hefty price. I'm with you on that, but it looks like that shot from above right there, that's a lot. It looks like you'll need a big table to play it as well. So, all right. Anyway, Disavowed says CC's been putting out some bangers of late. Do you mean like Capstone Games? I'm not sure who you mean by CC. CC Ryder, perhaps? I don't know. CC Sabathia? All right. On to our next news piece. Today saw the launch of a new Kickstarter for a trio of 5e setting books. Here's the skinny on Affinity from Deus Ex Machina. The project includes 3 200-plus page books: Conestoga, Paradise, and Taurus. First off, we've got Conestoga, mecha battle for control over a massive spacecraft. The name refers to a spacecraft thousands of kilometers in length, built and later abandoned by unknown entities, leaving dozens of competing factions living within geodesic domes. Geodesic? Yeah, I think it is geodesic domes. Scattered across the vessel's surface, employing powered armor and emerging individuals possessing psionic abilities. These factions battle for control over resources and the remaining hidden technology still residing in the spacecraft as it drifts through space. Next, we have Paradise, dungeon crawling inside an alien megastructure. Bythos is a constructed world in the centerpiece within a full-scale orrery. Moons orbit via tethered arms to the core world, except for one, Abraxas, home of the assertive Aegis, who look upon the 12 kingdoms below, tweaking and adjusting the political atmosphere as they see fit. The Aegis are the only ones permitted to operate technology of any kind, forbidding its use to those on the planet. Then we have Taurus, steampunk and occult magic within a post-apocalyptic world. Named after its unique ring shape, the Taurus was once the uncontested territory of the Iokan Caliphate, which covered the inner shell of the world with a nearly unending cityscape. Centuries after an ecological disaster, only a dozen city-states remain, reliant on unique steam-based technology, with the only means of transportation between them being the hundreds of thousands of train tracks left over from a fallen empire. there is, well, hey, look, see, and Deus Ex Machina is in chat with us. So pointing out that they funded in an hour. Well, we will talk a little bit about this in just a moment, but first, we are going to take a peek at the Kickstarter video for this project. It runs about 3.5 minutes, just so everybody knows. So kick back, give it a watch.
From the creator of Ultramodern 5, Amethyst, Neurospasta, and Apex, comes Affinity, representing a bold new approach to tabletop role-playing. Affinity is not a single setting, but 3 distinct worlds with a different mix of magic and technology, but sharing similar themes, names, and even a common menace. Players can select one world or shift between all 3. Affinity is a universe of mature themes and complex narratives, with the hope it will stand on its own, not only as an enjoyable tabletop game, but also as an engaging reading experience. In Paradise, players experience a semi-traditional fantasy adventure while residing within a fantastical megastructure. Planets within the known universe are tethered to one another, save for one, where the godlike Aegis look upon the 12 kingdoms below, tweaking and adjusting the political atmosphere as they see fit. The Aegis are the only ones permitted to operate technology, forbidding its use by those below. In Conestoga, players find themselves abandoned in a massive spacecraft thousands of miles across. Employing powered armor and emerging individuals possessing psionic abilities, surviving tribes of humans and aliens battle for control over resources and the remaining hidden technology still residing deep within the vast alien vessel. In Taurus, named after the world's unique ring shape, players explore the steampunk-inspired post-apocalyptic ruins of a fallen empire. Centuries after an ecological disaster, only a dozen city-states remain, reliant on unique steam-based technology, with the only means of transportation between them involving hundreds of thousands of train tracks left over from a forgotten time. Each book of Affinity contains unique and exciting mechanics, compatible with 5th edition rules. These appear in the form of new races, classes, backgrounds, weapons, armor, vehicles, spells, magic items, monsters, and more. All 3 volumes of Affinity will include new illustrations by Hugo-nominated artist Nick Greenwood, explicitly designed to fit this set's unique theme and presentation. This collection includes everything needed to start your journey. Explore any of the included settings or bring the rules you love into your own campaign world. Our crowdfunding campaign hopes to fund both a monochrome and full-color edition of Affinity, the latter of which being available as an exclusive 3-book box set. Stretch goals will include more rules and illustrations, and increase the overall quality of the physical production. Back and support Affinity today.
The Kickstarter for Affinity launched earlier today as Chris from Deus Ex Machina points out it funded in an hour. So very, very cool. So you can reserve a copy of the single color book. So there's 3 books. So you got some options. There are a lot of options, actually. And Chris will have to point out when the Kickstarter runs through, because when I put everything together today, it hadn't launched yet. So I am going to have to make that adjustment to the article. Anyway, so there are a trio of books. So if you want to just get one, you can. So you can get one in color. There is monochrome, but I'm talking color. in PDF for a $14 pledge. You can grab all 3 in color in PDF for a $34 pledge. If you want to go with the physical hardcovers, once again, talking about color in the hardcovers, you can score a single book for a $39 pledge, or grab all 3, which I believe are going to be presented as a slipcase set, like you see right here. You can get all 3 for a $99 pledge. And as Chris is pointing out, it will run until 10 a.m. on April 30th. So Chris also points out it's all about the color. That's right. Color green of the Benjamins. Should also point out, if you aren't aware, I actually shot a preview video for Affinity. So I kind of talk about some of the highlights in each of the books, share some thoughts about it as well. And you might want to take a peek. I see that Flaming Huron pointed out that they had already checked out the video and they are intrigued and they are planning on backing it. So very, very cool. All right, let's move along because there is a new role-playing bundle of holding that's arrived. We are talking a lot about Free League Publishing lately. We'll have more Free League Publishing news tomorrow, but this new bundle of holding features both Coriolis and Tales from the Loop. Here's the deets. Adventurer. We've resurrected our November 2018 Coriolis and Tales from the Loop bundle, and it is filled with PDF ebooks of 2 English language tabletop role-playing game lines from Sweden's Free League Publishing. Tales from the Loop, about 1980s teens solving mad science mysteries a la Stranger Things, and Coriolis, The Third Horizon, an Arabian Night-style space opera. Both these RPGs adapt the Year Zero rules from Free League's 2014 post-apocalypse RPG Mutant Year Zero, later seen in Forbidden Lands. This bargain price revival once again brings you the Coriolis and Tales from the Loop rulebooks and early supplements in English. For just $12.95, you get all 6 titles in this offer's starter collection, which have a retail value of $45, as DRM-free PDFs, including the Coriolis, the Third Horizon Core Rulebook, the Coriolis Atlas Compendium Setting Sourcebook, and 4 Coriolis supplements: Aram's Ravine, Artifacts and Faction Tech, Humobri. I know, I didn't pronounce that right. And the Hanji Oasis. If you pay more than this revived offer's threshold price of $25.16, you'll also level up and get this revival's entire bonus collection with 4 more titles worth an additional $50, including the complete Tales from the Loop core rulebook and its first supplement, Our Friends the Machines, and Other Mysteries. The full-length Coriolis adventure, The Dying Ship, and the Coriolis Game Master screen, previously a Kickstarter exclusive and not available for sale anywhere outside this offer. You can score these savings through April 20th. 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to the Coriolis/Loop offers pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. Nice. If you have any interest whatsoever in picking up Coriolis, and of course, check out my reviews because I have reviewed the core rulebook. I have also reviewed the first two parts in the Mercy of the Icons. Yeah, that is it. For a second, I was like, is that the name of the campaign? Yes, it is. It is Mercy of the Icons. So definitely check that out. There is also a second bundle of holding with more Tales from the Loop and Coriolis. Got to be honest, I think the second bundle of holding is cool as far as the Coriolis. Pretty light as far as, well, it's got things from The Flood, which is a follow-up to Tales from the Loop, which is a darker role-playing game. but I don't think it's as impressive, in my opinion, as this first bundle of holding with the core books, because it's got the Tales from the Loop starter set, which personally, I guess if you're getting it in the bundle, that's fine. But if you are buying it separately, it's just kind of a waste. It's not really good value for the money. Anyway, all right. So Clint Gibson saying more Tales from the Loop. They got to wait for Simon. If Simon doesn't do more artwork, they really don't have anything to work with, because I think he's like really a stickler as far as the game system, that the storylines that they create for Tales from the Loop, because they're utilizing all his artwork. It's all influenced by way of his art. So I think he's got a lot of say in what happens. But yeah, I have not seen anything new from Tales from the Loop since the starter set came out, which is really surprising if you think about it, because normally you see a starter set come out and then you'll see some products come out relatively quickly after it to take advantage of that starter set. It's like, if you notice with Chaosium Inc. and Call of Cthulhu, a lot of the stuff they release now, their adventures in that, they'll say that you don't even need the two like big core books. They'll say, oh yeah, you just need the starter set. So pretty cool. But yes, unfortunately, haven't seen much from Tales from the Loop, but we have seen a good amount of content released for Coriolis. All right, my final news piece, now available in PDF from our friends over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment, is the new Warhammer roleplay Age of Sigmar Soulbound Bestiary. Here's the deets. The mortal realms are besieged. Packs of savage beasts stalk the wilderness. Parades of disquiet dead. It's kind of funny, disquiet dead. I'm kind of disquieted. I'm a dead guy. I'm not undead. I'm just dead, but I am disquieted. Stirred by baleful magics, haunt the nights, enacting terrible vengeance upon the living. Hordes of Uruks, Grots, and Gargants rampage unchecked, driven by little more than destruction and despoilment for their own amusement. And the innumerable servants of the ruinous powers that once brought about the end of the world take root where mortals tread. The realms are rocked by never-ending conflict, and nowhere is truly safe. The mortal realms are filled with countless strange creatures and monstrous beasts. The Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound Bestiary provides a vast collection of these great and terrible foes to use in your Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound adventures, and gives game masters advice on how to best build exciting encounters with these monstrous and maniacal foes. The Soulbound Bestiary contains over 180 terrifying new foes to use in your Soulbound campaign, including some of the most iconic creatures from Warhammer Age of Sigmar, from the reality-warping Ziching Lord of Change, to the merciless Knight of Shrouds, to the awe-inspiring Kraken Eater Mega Gargant. Game Master advice on building exciting and memorable encounters and how to use Doom to give an extra edge to these conflicts. There's detailed descriptions of each creature and faction, including advice on using them in your game, their tactics in combat, and rumors reflecting what the people of the mortal realms know of them, some of which may be less than reliable. This 184-page PDF is available right now at DriveThruRPG for $24.99. Sweet. Very nice. John Vogel's calling in tonight. Good to see you, John. We'll see you next time. Don't forget, Thursday is Dominant Species Marine. We'll be unboxing and taking a peek. All right. So good to see the bestiary has come out for Soulbound. Pretty sweet. I got a copy in PDF from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. It looks pretty cool. I am sending it along to Sammy, who does, if you're not someone who visits, man, wow. Have another one of these nights. Damn you, COVID vaccine. Although I feel sharper tonight than I did yesterday. Just I feel I'm a little tongue-tied today. Anyway, if you don't visit thegaminggang.com, you probably never run across Sammy's role-playing game reviews. And you're missing out because she's done a lot of role-playing game reviews for me. They're all written reviews, so they're not video. So she is working on a lot of Soulbound stuff because she did the review for the core book and was like, wow. She was thinking, oh, yeah, Warhammer, whatever. I guess it's kind of the feeling I get, the vibe I get. And she really liked Soulbound. So she's got some of the Soulbound stuff. So we've got more reviews heading your way. But they are written. They are not videos. So as some of this stuff comes out from Cubicle 7 in print, we'll get more videos out there for them. They changed printers, and I think that really threw them off for a bit, just like we're waiting on the third chapter of the Enemy Within campaign, Power Behind the Throne. That's been out in PDF for a long time, and we've still not seen the print edition yet. All right, anyway, I was just talking about DriveThruRPG. Don't forget the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to go visit, say, DriveThruRPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep the Gaming Gang around. And there are a lot of people who do use those links, so I really, really do appreciate it. So speaking of thegaminggang.com, I would like to ask everybody who watches this video to do me a favor. This is a personal favor to me. I'd like you to go over to thegaminggang.com. Just take a peek at a couple of pages. I'd like you to leave a comment because I think there is a problem with our comment system. Plus, I'd like you to take a peek at the website because there are a lot of people who watch the videos who have absolutely no idea that the Gaming Gang website has been around. Now we're in our 11th year. They're like, what? Who? Huh? All right, so we zipped through the news tonight. Very, very cool. Once again, we are going to be taking a first look and paging through the Game Master's Guide for Symbaroum from Free League Publishing in just a moment. But a couple of things I did want to point out is if Sarah D is watching, I think it's D, right? Right, gang? It's Sarah D. If Sarah's watching, please chime in. Did you say you wanted to be in the Symbaroum starter set contest last night? Because once the show ended, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I think Sarah said, yeah, count me in. And then I didn't jot her down to be in the running. So I think Clint Gibson says, yep. I think, yeah. So I think I had a brain fart there. So Sarah says, no, I did not. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah, because I swear I ended the show and I'm like, oh, shit. Didn't Sarah say she? I was like, oh, man. Thank you, Sarah. There we go. Sarah said she had a copy. All right. See that COVID-19 vaccine fog is lifting, but I guess it hasn't completely lifted. All right. So I real quick. So I started watching The Irregulars last night on Netflix. And for those who aren't familiar with it, it's kind of it seems to be like a supernatural sort of show. It's set in Victorian London, and they're supposed to be the Baker Street Irregulars. And so, yes, Sarah says it's her fault for picking on me about lurkers. I've never said anything about lurkers. Yeah, people just want to. See, but the funny thing is, Sarah's not a lurker because Sarah comments. So there you go. There goes your lurker status. So anyway, so I watched the first episode of The Irregulars, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too old. So one of the things that kind of threw me off is like right off the bat, the background music is kind of like hip hop. So Chris from Ex Machina is zooming on out. Good to see you, Chris. Thanks for swinging by to hang with us a little bit. There's Doug Roberts. Doug Roberts is hanging out. He's been lurking. He's lurking forever. Anyway, so it starts and it had like hip hop kind of urban background music. And I was like, okay, that didn't bother me. And then it had lyrics. I was like, oh, come on, really? Come on. It's supposed to be like 1890 or something like that. And yes, I get it. It's a fantasy show. I know. I understand that. But I was kind of like, and then the characters all use kind of a mishmash of like a modern way of speaking, modern vocabulary, and then also Victorian era. And then they've got, they introduced Dr. Watson, who's African American. I was like, okay, come on. But I think the biggest crime of the show was, I gotta say, if I watch the G-rated Oliver Twist, I get more of a feeling of dread and just, unwellness of street urchins, orphans, things like that. I was like, they're all supposed to be like these street urchins because that's who the Irregulars are. And they have a nice warm place to sleep at night, and they seem to have money in their pockets. And I was like, what? It's like, what the hell's going on? I was like, come on. See, that's one of the things that kind of bothers me about some of these shows where, it's okay. If you want to do like an alternate timeline, things like that, that's fine. But when you start like whitewash, this is what irritates me is you have the whitewashing of real history, right? There was real suffering on the streets of London with the poor. And when you make it out where it's like, they just don't have their own house. They're all clean. They're all well fed. It's kind of like, come on, give me a break. I don't know if I'm going to watch any more of it. Because also, I kind of found it to be, the first episode to be very disjointed. It didn't seem to have a real strong theme running through it. And it's kind of like, who is this show for? Okay, so here's the other thing, like historically. So the two female main characters, by that point, by their age, they would not have just been hanging around as urchins. They'd have been earning their keep some other way, even if it was just selling matchsticks. Anyway, I find it like really just kind of all over the place. I don't know. Maybe it gets better. I'm just curious because it's another one of these things where you watch the first episode and you're like, and usually I'll give a show like 3 episodes to catch my attention. And if it doesn't grab me by then I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm done. But I don't know. It's just something about this. It seemed like it was like way too by the numbers. And it was kind of like, well, Stranger Things is such a big hit for Netflix. We're going to try to, kind of ride on that coattail a little bit. And, I don't know. The other thing was, I don't know who this show is for because the main characters are all like, mid-late teens. I'm sure some of them are probably early 20s. The actress, at least. So there's like a pretty gruesome scene. It can't be for just kids. It can't be for kids, because there's a pretty gruesome scene of this this girl who gets killed, and it's kind of like, well, geez. I was like, for a while, I was thinking, it's probably this, aimed at the tweens or something. I was like, whoa, okay, maybe not. So, all right. Anyway, so yes, Sarah says now she is Sarah of Yellowcrest Manor, which, yes, I do remember now. That is an adventure from Candlekeep Mysteries, as opposed to Sarah the Lurker. So Flaming Heron says, just change the YouTube name so I have to announce you every time you arrive. Excellent. All right, Flaming Heron says, yes, it's definitely not family friendly. I did see the Madmen said they watched 4 episodes already. Get some ideas for his Rippers Victorian horror campaign for Savage Worlds that he's going to be running soon. But the music? Question mark. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to watch any more of it. It's just, it's just not my bag, I guess. So, the Madman says there are definitely some graphic scenes in other episodes. I don't mind graphic violence. It doesn't bother me at all. I remember going to the midnight movie to see Dawn of the Dead, and, that didn't bother me. Fake violence and blood doesn't bother me whatsoever. What sometimes, and it's funny, my best friend Elliot Miller, formerly of the Gaming Gang, kind of busts my chops because I have a thing about just over the top graphic violence for no other reason, just to be over the top graphic violence. The Boys is an example of that. I gotta say the American version of now I'm zoning on the name of it. I'll be kicking myself. It's with John Cusack, Rainn Wilson's in it. Funny thing is, I kept recommending it to Elliot to check out. It's about that like mysterious comic book. I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it. But that was a show that it was like, you just suddenly have graphic blood splatter and stuff like that, just out of nowhere. So Quest Friend says, I agree. It has to serve a purpose. Yes. And that's, to me, it's not really, it's just there for a gross out. And no thanks. But then again, if I were watching a slasher flick where I'm like, yeah, well, I'm expecting gross out, that wouldn't bother me. I'd be like, okay. So I'm just not into bloodbaths just to be gruesome and shocking. All right. So stay tuned, because I will be giving away 3 PDF copies of the Symbaroum starter set, Treasure Hunts in Davakar, in just a bit. Tomorrow night, I'm going to actually give away a physical copy. And if you happen to have won one of the PDFs, you are still fair game for that physical copy. Just if you happen to be the winner, we'll just pick a new winner for the PDF you had won. So Flaming Heron says, The Boys is fairly graphic as a graphic novel. Yes, I have read the comics. I really like The Boys. But yeah, sometimes there's a couple of times where it's like, did you really need to do that? Come on. We understand what would have happened, you don't have to show that person's eyeball pop out. Just me. Yes, I know. Now you can start busting my chops. You're like, just all squeamish. I'm like, no, I'm not sitting there going, whoa. I'm just sitting there going, really? Come on. All right. So tonight we are going to take a first look and page through the Symbaroum Game Master's Guide, which is from our friends over at Free League Publishing. It's written by Matthias Lilja and Matthias Johnson, with artwork provided by Martin Grip and Gustav Ekelund. The 156-page hardcover is available for an MSRP of $44.99. It varies. I'm pretty sure this is the MSRP. Just like, these are printed by Modifius Entertainment. But if you go to Modifius's website and you go to Free League's website, Free League's prices are always lower than Modifius. But I don't know about the shipping. Anyway, so the hardcover does carry an MSRP of $44.99. You can grab the PDF over at DriveThruRPG for $19.98. Let's swing on over to the other camera because, ka-ching, I've already got Symbaroum sitting here. So let's take a look at the back. We're not going to read everything off the back of the book, but with the Game Master's Guide, Symbaroum's collection of core books is complete. Between its covers are 3 solid sections meant to inspire and support game masters when it comes to everything from the creation of homebrew adventures to managing sessions around the gaming table. No matter if you choose to embrace it all or only pick the goodies out of the cake, the tips and alternative rules presented in this book will certainly help make adventures in Symbaroum's game world even more spicy, thrilling, and memorable. So one thing I should point out, I did not realize that the Game Master's Guide came out third out of the 3 core books. So we've got the Advanced Player's Guide, we've got the Monster Codex, and then the Game Master's Guide. I thought the Game Master's Guide was the second book. That's why I'm taking a look at this right now. So Clint Gibson says, we're going back to the irregulars. I love the couple characters and want to see them grow. History, it's just trash. And music nowadays, I ignore. It got me to at least see out the first season, then decide, okay, all right, okay, well, I'll check out a couple more episodes, see what I think. So, as far as I understand, the game plan you should have, as far as Symbaroum goes, is, of course, have the core rule book, then the Advanced Player's Guide, then the Monster Codex, and then the Game Master's Guide. I understand if you don't have those other books, you probably shouldn't pick up the Game Master's Guide. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I stumbled upon that. Let me grab a quick sip here. So once again, I'm going to say picture in picture up here. So I know these books have been out for a while. I guess I'm sure they probably floating out there someplace. But I am going to I'll probably skip some pages and things like that, just to keep the pirates at bay. So to the Game Master's Guide, it says a hearty welcome to the Game Master's Guide. This book is for you who will lead the sessions around the gaming table. You who will portray the game world, provide its inhabitants with voices and personalities, and design or improvise entertaining, thrilling, unforgettable adventures in Umbria, Devakar, and beyond. So it's talking about the other core books. So we've got the adventure, building game worlds. I think there's a lot of discussion about actually running the game as a game master in this book. I have not taken a peek at anything in this book yet. Only thing I did was I went and I took the little bookmark out just so it was not in the way. All right, so we're looking at, looks like we had primary building blocks of your story, main conflict, stories, tone, secondary building blocks, history, nature, cultures, population, Adventure Chronicles. A whole book, if not 2, could be written about the creation of Adventure Chronicles. I believe if you're, like I said, if you're not familiar with Symbaroum, Chronicles are essentially campaigns. So the Throne of Thorns and to a certain extent Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis are, I guess, examples of Adventure Chronicles. I'm kind of surprised they mentioned Coriolis. So Adventure Landscapes. Ah, there we go. Some cool artwork. Troop play. An alternative to traditional play where each player controls a single character is that the players take on multiple characters, often connected by a common place, organization, or theme. I've always been kind of curious how many people actually engage in troop play. I never have. I don't know any of my friends who role play who have. If you've actually taken part in troop play, let me know in the comments section if you're not watching live, or let me know in chat if you are watching live. So we got Adventures for Heroes. Disagreement about the purpose of the game. A fairly common cause of friction and disagreements within gaming groups is unspoken expectations about why you're playing at all, or why you're playing a particular game, since a gaming group might have several different games running at the same time. That's kind of interesting. Imbalanced player characters, imbalance between characters and adventure. Nice. Under, above, and beyond. So we have some new realms. The Yonder World, the Spirit World. Goal-oriented role-playing. So far, granted, I have not read this. I am going to review this. I have not read this. Like I said, this is the first time I've cracked it open. This looks very interesting. This looks, especially if someone is new to game mastering, or if they are uncomfortable as a game master, which if you're uncomfortable as a game master, I'm going to have to point out you probably might not want to game master. I know there are people out there who are like, oh, anybody can be a game master. Anybody can be a dungeon master, a keeper, a referee, what have you. Yes, that is true. Anybody can, but not everybody is going to be good at it. And I mean, I have been in some role-playing games where the game master was just crap. And no offense to them, because it was, just, once again, we just took a look where it's saying, oh, well, people have disagreements about what they're there to do as far as playing the game. And, some people, they're just there to like have combat. They just want to be rolling dice in combat the whole time. Or, they're just going to read everything like straight from the book. There are a lot of people out there like that. So Quest Friend says troop play only in a game like Goblin Quest. Pretty fun when each character's life is short. So I would take a guess that Goblin Quest, you're probably just playing like a one shot or a very short campaign, like maybe 2-3 sessions. Flaming Huron says they find it hard enough to play one character at any one time. Closest they got was employing a hireling and giving them a personality. As far as hirelings, henchmen, stuff like that, I still handle the NPC like personalities for them. A lot of times, especially henchmen, back in the day, I would let the players kind of say, yeah, okay, I'd like, Ferdinand to do XYZ. And yes, he's a henchman or hireling, whatever. Okay, Ferdinand's probably going to do that. But I did not let the player characters control the hirelings or the henchmen. All right, so we got the challenges. Challenges of what? Oh, okay, challenges the players will face, the characters will face. Advanced traps. Oh, cool, we got some illustrations of that. Pitched battles. Player characters as commanders. Nice. I know we talk about this a lot, but the artwork in Symbaroum is pretty cool. I definitely like the art style to it. And I know I say this all the time. It's a dark fantasy setting, but it is not a grim dark fantasy setting. So, and for a lot of people, that's very important because they don't care for grim dark. I'm not a fan really either. Although everybody still raves about Shadow of the Demon Lord, and they're always talking about, Jeff, you gotta start reviewing Shadow of the Demon Lord stuff. And it's like, yeah, okay. If Robert wants to send me some stuff, I'm game. But all right, so let's see. So we got expeditions. I got a lot of info about that. A bunch of random tables as well. Exploring ruins. Many of the ruins in Davakar are as much as 2,000 years old. Remnants of the people who long ago fled west from the devastated Asbarist and their descendants. Older remains also exist, but not of human design. If encountered, they originate from the cultures of trolls, Adrics, or some other race of cultural beings that dominated the land in different eras before the arrival of elves and humans. All right, so looks like we've got some random tables for kind of creating your own ruins. Ceremonies. So it looks like we've got some more ritualistic magic. So yeah, so we've got Firestorm, Tidal Wave, Summon, Demon Court, Insect Swarm, Mass Curse, Mass Resurrection, Rage, Legendary Creatures. An adventurous climax does not always have to be a fateful confrontation with a group, person, or creature standing between the player characters and their ultimate goal. But in many cases, it is. And in this chapter, we want to address the creation of memorable bosses who are powerful enough to challenge even the most veteran heroes. Cool. Oh, it's pretty wild. Almost looks like they're going to get ready to battle an angel or a demon. Oh, so it's actually giving us examples of some of these legendary creatures. The rewards, enhanced rewards. Greater artifacts. All right. And we are coming to the end of the book. I think this is going to be our last section here. Eli's troll flute. Yeah. Get them trolls dancing. Maybe it summons a troll. Gotta say, it didn't appear to have as much artwork as we're used to seeing in the Symbaroum books. But, I mean, that's okay because usually that just means more space for gameable material. All right, so we've got some new artifacts, quite a few of these. And we've got a faction status sheet. And that is it. That is the 150. Okay, so I guess it's 152 pages. I thought it was 156 pages for Symbaroum, the Game Master's Guide here. Of course, I will have a review of the Game Master's Guide in the near future as well. All right, so let's move on to the contest. Of course, I am giving away 3 PDF copies of Symbaroum's starter set, Treasure Hunts in Davakar. So I know last night we had Joseph, I think it was Joseph DeBar, if I remember correctly, was watching. The Madman as well as Clint Gibson all won copies, which they're all going to go out at the same time. So I would assume you're going to get these PDFs sometime Thursday or Friday, because I'm going to just send in everybody's information to Boel. All right, so I know Flaming Huron's in. So who else is watching who wants to get in on the contest? Got to chime in chat. Hey, and if it turns out only 3 people, I guess we won't even be rolling any dice, right? We'll just be giving them away. All right. So give everybody a moment here. You know what? I haven't seen really much going on in chat in a few. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did we drop again? Man, if that happened. All right, there we go. I was a little concerned because it was like, oh, we got a little chunk of drop frames there. But I never saw my internet drop. So that's usually the indicator up. So not like last time. Last time when it just dropped the show and that was it. That was YouTube. That was not me. So Flaming Heron says, I get 3 copies? All right, so we got Flaming Heron, we got Quest Friend. Anybody else? Last call. Last call. I almost said for alcohol, but last call for fine taste. I think that was a Lucky Strikes commercial or something like that. Way back in the day, yes, I basically was like sitting there. I like old time radio. Something that I would probably, I don't even need to roll dice, so let's just pop over here. Anyway, I was going to say, one of these days, I think in my So You Want to Be a Game Master series, I'm going to discuss in a little more depth how listening to old time radio shows can really help improve your skills as a game master. Seriously. All right. So, looks like we've got Quest Friend and Flaming Heron. All right, there you go. Winner, winners, chicken dinners. So all you need to do is email me your email address that you have your DriveThruRPG account set up through. If you do not have a DriveThruRPG account, you have to set one up because that is how Free League Publishing is going to send you the PDFs. So for the starter set. Because normally I just give, I receive the PDFs and I just give them out. But this is something a little different. So anyway, you have to make sure that you have an account for DriveThruRPG. So Flaming Heron says, well, it's all about the voice you use as a game master, not about the voices you use. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, I would say so. I'll tell you what, though. I learned long ago, and I mean, I don't mind using voices for important NPCs, but I also learned long ago that if I only use voices for important NPCs, then my players know that NPC is important. So what I try to do is at least give a little bit of flavor to each person that they have any kind of like discussion with. So not that it's not, I don't go through like 100 different voices. I'm not Mel Blanc for crying out loud. All right. So that is it for this time out. So Quest Friend says, yes, that old time radio game master tip sounds really cool. It is. Cause remember now I got to point out, I don't use miniatures and stuff like that in my games. So I'm more theater of the mind. So to me, the tips for that you kind of learn from listening to old time radio really would apply. Other people, that they've got a bunch of terrain and miniatures, stuff like that. Maybe not because, but I'm one of these people. I always think like miniatures to me are like a crutch. So I know, I mean, using miniatures in role-playing games. I love miniatures. Don't get me wrong. And I love playing miniature games, but in a role-playing game, I'm not a huge fan unless, the players are utilizing that as like to channel their, their role-playing through. I don't mind that, but yeah, having to get, sit there with all little tactical moves and stuff. Might as well play OD&D, right? All right. Anyway, so hey, Joseph DeBar popped in at the last minute. Good to see you, Joseph. Thanks for hanging out with us for the last couple of moments. Anyway, that is it for this time out. Tomorrow night, I am going to share. It'll be the last night of our Symbaroum week. So I guess it's the Symbaroum half week. But we're going to take a look at the Monster Codex, which is from Free League Publishing for Symbaroum. So very, very cool. Looking forward to this. And then on Wednesday's show, we're going to unbox and take a look at Dominant Species Marine, designed by the late, great Chad Jensen. This is from GMT Games. So we'll be taking a look at that. I've got some reviews that are kind of cooking. I've got a few things personal life wise that are kind of being addressed, taken care of right now. So may not get as many reviews out there in the next week or two as I'd like, but I do have some reviews coming. So I've got yes, one of these days I am going to make sure that I get the why do I always forget the name of it? Because it's got an oddball name. Where do I have it sitting around? Or is it out in the car? I might have it out in the car. Yeah, I think it's out in the car. Once again, there's so many damn games I'm thinking about at the moment. But I will have a review for Delta Green Black Sites. That's probably the next one that's on the horizon. Also, the Amazon exclusive World's Fair 1893 from Renegade Game Studio. Have a review of that coming up as well. I've got some other stuff that's like, the Robotech. I kind of kicked that around. It's just, I didn't really care for the game much. And I really got to be honest. I'm not a big fan of doing, shooting reviews and sharing a review of something that I didn't really care for. I don't know. We'll see. But, I got to be honest. The extra, bump that Solar Flare Games would get from people at least getting to see the game. Yeah. But, I mean, to be honest, it's like a 6.5 tops, in my opinion. Anyway, all right. So just to let you know, we got other stuff cooking. There's other stuff cooking. So if you like this video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live right here on YouTube, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review for World's Fair 1893 from Renegade Game Studios. Of course, those of you who watched live, thank you very much. I always appreciate you taking some time out of your busy lives to watch this goofball. I don't know if I would. Teasing. Oh, I can't stand watching that guy. Anyway, once again, as I asked before, do me a favor real quick. If you have a chance to swing over at thegaminggang.com, take a peek at a couple of pages. For one, like I said, I think we might be having a problem with our comment system. So I don't know, but also take a peek in case you may not have ever been there before as well. Anyway, those of you who are watching after the fact, maybe you were, I don't know, watching on Memorex. Definitely appreciate you taking time out to watch as well. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, whatever day it happens to be that you're catching this show. I'll be back tomorrow. And as always, during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the Gaming Gang channel yet, click right here. If you'd like to see the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, click right up there. And if you want to trust YouTube's algorithm to give you something to watch, click right there. Once again, thanks so much for watching, and everybody please wear a mask.